36831.
This year, we celebrate our cultural icons.
The Mighty Shadow,
Ken, the Professor Fillmore,
and the original DeFosto himself.
Carnival Saturday, the 2nd of March,
The National Panorama Finals
at the Queen's Park Savannah,
Carnival City.
Sponsored by Caribbean Airlines,
Angostura,
B-Mobile,
Massey Technologies,
and the NLCB. Produced by Pan Trinbago.
On WACK 90.1 FM, this is News 9:01 to 4 p.m. In the headlines.
Activist calls U.S. aid a fraud. Brian London wins Professor Fillmore competition. Regionally, Barbados signs MOU with China. And internationally, former staffer alleges Trump kissed her without consent. With the news in detail to 4 p.m., I'm Leanne Sinclair. Good afternoon. A former New York union leader stood in solidarity yesterday with several local union leaders who support Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro in the ongoing political conflict in Venezuela. Roger Toussaint spoke at a press conference shortly before a walk toward the United States Embassy on Marley Street, calling the humanitarian efforts by the U.S. a fraud. He said if it was indeed humanitarian aid, the aid would have been delivered to the United Nations and they would see to its delivery in Venezuela because that is what is usually done. Instead, the aid had been dropped off at the Colombian side of the border and the opposition forces have gone over to Colombia to bring it in. He said it is clear that it's provocation because you cannot expect a government to allow anyone to breach their borders. Mr. Toussaint also pointed out that the same U.S. humanitarians have not only been withholding funds from Venezuelans through embargoes and sanctions, but have been keeping men, women, and children who have entered their country under inhumane conditions for the past 2 years. He said the U.S. also decided to only release funds to supporters of the Venezuelan opposition, led by Juan Guaido, who has called himself the interim president of Venezuela. Mr. Toussaint and several local union leaders marched towards the U.S. Embassy to vent their disapproval with the U.S.'s handling of the crisis in Venezuela. Instructions by Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith that all children should be off the streets by 6 p.m. led to the premature end of the Marabella Children's Carnival on Sunday. 3 carnival bands, 2 medium and 1 small, were prevented from performing before the judges as police officers shut down the festivities. The Marabella Festival Council hosted its 35th annual Children's Carnival along the southern main road in Marabella. Chairman Alan Campbell claimed that permission was initially granted to host the event from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. And this year, he said, a record 22 bands had registered to participate in the competition. The roadway was blocked off and officers attached to the Marabella police station were stationed along the route. Mr. Campbell said the children, dressed in colorful costumes, paraded along the street lined with hundreds of spectators. But at 6 p.m., Mr. Campbell said he was advised by officers that the show needs to come to an end. He said a band was parading before the judges when he was contacted. Mr. Campbell said that in the 35 years there has never been any incidents of violence at the event. He said that he was disappointed that the show ended before all the children were allowed to parade and called on the commissioner to be more lenient. Calypsonian Brian London's name will forever be immortalized as the winner of the one-time Ken Professor Fillmore Calypso competition. London walked away with a crown on Sunday night at the San Fernando City Auditorium with a composition called Special Invitation. The competition brought to an end a week of celebration of cultural icons who died last year, including Panman Fillmore and Steve Achaiba, Calypsonian's brother superior and composer, and massman Ronald St. George. The week started with the shortest street in San Fernando being named in Fillmore's honor, followed by an exhibition, lecture, premiere of the film Mural by the Sea, and Calypso on Library Corner. Calypsonians who wrote or sang songs about Fillmore were invited to compete for the $10,000 first prize. San Fernando Mayor Junior Regrello, who presented the prize to London, recalled the passion and outpouring of love expressed by people here and abroad, and the promise by so many to play his signature hit Pan by Storm for Panorama upon his passing. Mr. Regrello said as mayor, he felt it was his responsibility to do his part to immortalize Fillmore. He said when he heard so many songs being composed about him from as early as November of last year, songs which would have languished without any recognition, a committee was formed to honor Fillmore and the competition was born. And it is proving to be quite a big year for the London family, as the second London has won a national carnival title this year. 17-year-old Rivaldo London of Pleasantville Secondary School beat 15 other contestants to take the National Junior Calypso Monarch crown yesterday at the Queen's Park Savannah. Singing in last position, London delivered a powerful rendition of My Purpose, a song where he advised fellow contestants to forget about singing to win money and a trophy and focus on the country. He sang that young people need to assist in changing Trinidad and Tobago, and the right way to do so is through the power of Calypso, just as the likes of Sparrow, Shadow, Kitchener, Brigo, Bomber, Composer, the original DeFausto himself, and Maestro did in the past. London said as he got older, his focus was on spreading positive messages in song. London was also crowned the NACC's Pathfinders King on the weekend, while his brother Ronaldo London was crowned Young King last Monday. London's first prize includes $25,000